Discovery of 3,000-year-old Philistine cemetery may change history. Ancient Israel history, that is. This is a discovery of something that was excavated over 30 years ago, but the results have just come out now. It's a team of researchers that unearthed the first known cemetery of the Philistines. This cemetery is located in southern Israel, and the excavations may reveal the origins of the famous Hebrew biblical villains, the Philistines, who made up one of the tribes of the Sea People. Because of this discovery, many answers have finally been found concerning these mysterious people. The cemetery was actually unearthed in 2013, but the archaeologists kept their discovery secret for 3 years until all excavations were completed. A thorough examination of the burials supports the view that the Philistines came from the Aegean Sea region, that is, Greece today. Moreover, they had very close ties to the Phoenicians. Very important and impressive discovery, the most important finding in the history of research related to Philistines. A professor of archaeology of Israel, emeritus at Harvard University, Lawrence E. Stagger, says, quote, 99% of the chapters and articles written about Philistine burial customs should be revised or ignored now that we have the first and only Philistine cemetery, end quote. And this is now according to National Geographic. The discovery of this large cemetery took place outside the walls of the ancient city of the Philistines, which is, of course, Tel Ashkelon. It was the most important and thriving Philistine settlement, and it was a harbor, 1200 to 700 BC. After 30 years of excavations, the researchers who were led by Lawrence Stagger, who led the Leon Levy expedition to Ashkelon since 1985, has finally been able to answer questions relating to the Philistines. This cemetery dates back to the 11th and 8th centuries BC, and it contains the remains of more than 211 people. The advantage of this cemetery is that it reveals not just one or two individuals, but the whole population, the remains of people of different genders and ages. The tombs were not looted. They had remained undisturbed for millennia, so they contain information that puts a fresh light on the origins of the Philistines. There's no evidence of trauma on the bones, which suggests that these people died due to natural reasons, natural causes, not from war or any other kind of violence. In addition, due to this discovery, the researchers are able to learn about lifestyles and burial rituals of these mysterious Philistine people. It seems that the Philistines were very different from the Canaanites and the Highlanders in the east. The burials were also somehow different than the ones which belonged to other tribes of the Middle East. The researchers discovered about 150 cremated people buried in oval pits. 4 of them were deposited in burial chamber tombs. Similar practices can be observed in Aegean cultures. The ancient Aegean cultures. They used to cremate the bodies, sometimes leaving the cremation fire would not be hot enough to consume the bones. So the bones were then put in an ossuary box, in ancient Greek custom. Now, apart from the 150 individuals' pit graves, 6 burial chambers with multiple bones were also discovered. And inside the tombs, many typical burial goods were found, including jugs, little small jugs, bowls, storage jars, spear points, arrowheads, 2 bottles of perfumes, and a few cases of jewelry. The latest pottery comes from the 7th century BC, suggesting that during that period the burial chambers were closed. Future examinations with the use of DNA tests may bring more information. Now, the Philistines are one of the mysterious tribes of the Sea People, and for many centuries it was unknown where they came from. Alicia McDermott from Ancient Origins wrote in September 22nd of 2015, quote, "The Sea People were a group of tribe that arose and battled against ancient Mediterranean communities from 1276 to 1178 BC. At the time, the victims of their barrages called them the Sheridan, the Sheikh Lesh, Luka, Tursha, Peleset, and Akawasha. The lack of concrete evidence has left the history of the Sea People to be heavily debated in the archaeological community. Scholars believe that it's likely the identity of the warrior Sea People is Etruscan, Trojan, Italian, Philistine, Mycenaean, or even Minoan, Minoan meaning from present-day Crete in Greece. But this new study focuses on one of these alleged Sea Peoples, the Philistines. Where were the origins? Where did they come from? It has also been a long-standing question for archaeologists. The past assumption was that they were, after all, Sea People. They must be based from a location near water. This new discovery goes against this previously held idea. Tel Tayyinat, ancient Kunulua, Turkey, was previously thought to have been just one of the many locations invaded by the Philistines, but this new research proposes that they may have their origins in that location instead, in Ashkelon. The common previously held belief was that the Philistines were originally from the Aegean or Cyprus, somewhere around Greece. If this new report of the Philistine base being the remote site in southeast Turkey is true fact, then it would show that the Philistines were present when many of the great civilizations collapsed, and somehow they were exempt from a similar fate. I'll leave a link below for you for this.